Welcome back, everyone, to Point of Sale, the retail supply chain show where we break down great retailers, including the data and technology that moves their supply chain. It's been a couple weeks, but I'm excited to be back with everyone and some really incredible guests with us today. One that recently raised $16.4 million to help improve e-commerce supply chains. And of course, as everyone knows, Point of Sale is not just a wonderful video show for everyone, but we are a podcast as well. So make sure wherever you're listening to this that you are subscribing, whether that's on YouTube, whether that's on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts as well. And it is a newsletter. So head over to freightwaves.com, go to the top, hit our newsletter button, and make sure that you not only subscribe to Point of Sale, but a number of our incredible newsletters and communities, including two new ones, our cold chain supply chain newsletter and community. And of course, we have a new one from Jack Dalio, who's been a friend of the show and fellow journalist on the editorial side with me as he breaks down the drop zone, including drones and all that incredible technology that's dropping all of these retailers' goods right on your doorstep. So as always, Freightwaves is over here making some incredible content for you. So make sure that you aren't missing out on any of that. And speaking of Jack and the team over at Modern Shipper, we had a really great article come out from the team earlier this week that dove into the everyday use and importance of the e-commerce supply chain. They dove into a study called the Connected Economy Monthly Report, which is the rise of focusing on the rise of the smart home. So using smart home technology, including as I cover mine, Google Home, Amazon's Alexa, or any of those technologies. But what was really interesting is that so they surveyed about 2,700 U.S. consumers and just really gauged their overall online transactions, regardless if they're using at-home technology or not. And from that, they found that 37% actually engage in online transactions in May alone. And that's actually up 32.6% since the study in November of 2021. So like always, we of course went through this incredible couple of years dealing with worldwide health issues, but with that was this huge explosion of e-commerce. Was our capabilities and being able to continue to shop and get the goods that we want, whether or not we're able to interact with one another on a daily basis. And moving forward from that study, they found that 17% of us now buy food and groceries online, now me being one of them. And it's interesting, all these different daily habits that we're having. Now we're starting to realize, and this is the one thing that Modern Shipper reported, I believe Brian Straight found, is now e-commerce shopping a daily habit? I think if you look even into my own self and my own purchases, it's getting pretty close to it. They found that the average consumer has at least 2 online transactions a day. It's pretty alarming. And of those transactions, we're talking a multitude, whether it's grocery shopping, whether it's purchasing tickets online or purchasing clothing or retail goods, or even from that too is being able to make online financial transactions, right? Using things like Venmo or Cash App, or being able to online bank and deposit checks through that. The average person is doing at least 2 of those a day. And it's really interesting because the type of person that's making those 2 transactions a day are actually on 2 extreme sides. So big portion of those people are making over $100,000 a year. The other portion, and actually the largest portion coming at 12.9%, were those living paycheck to paycheck. So it's kind of an interesting thought. You want to dive into almost that a little bit more because you start to think about who's being frugal, and it seems almost like that middle class in between might be a little bit more smarter, but we'll see over time how that plan plays out. But yeah, the average person who is making those 2 transactions today is either someone making over $100,000, and that's 9.8% of everyone surveyed, or those living paycheck to paycheck, which is 12.9. Now, who's to say 100,000 people could also be living paycheck to paycheck, but we are not here to give financial advice. We're just here to tell a little bit more about the study. And what's interesting is like we now expect a certain level from our e-commerce vendors. We want same day, we want next day delivery. And as always, now millennials, for example, are starting to even make sure that these transactions are happening at home using our smart home devices. 32% of millennials surveyed said that they use their smart home devices to make these purchases. And we have to almost look at millennials as a whole. 52% of millennials actually use those devices, automated devices, to do regular chores, whether that's like having a Roomba or moving around the house, or being able to, for example, even like cat litters now are automated through voice. So there's a ton of different ways that we're becoming a little bit smarter about how we interact with our everyday needs. And then, of course, even climate control, right? 55% of us use those devices to control the heat and temperature within our homes. And so it means to show as e-commerce continues to grow, we need to become a little bit smarter about how we're interacting with different brands, and especially e-commerce, right? Like, what lies ahead? How do we market and advertise to people who are using smart home devices? How are products going to be introduced to us in the future if we're not even using our phones in order to order things and have them delivered to our house? So found this study really interesting. Head to modernshipper.com or freightways.com and check out the article by the team. You can learn more about the study, and I will make sure that I post this on Twitter as well and link the study to it so you guys can check it out as well. But again, excited for the future in the ever-growing e-commerce market as well. I mean, right now we're sitting at about $7 trillion e-commerce market worldwide. If we can bring up that figure really quick to the team, that's actually expected to grow a compound annual growth rate until 2028, up about 17.4% to $20 trillion worldwide. So e-commerce isn't going anywhere. If anything, it's just skyrocketing up. And what's going to stall that growth? Well, guess what? Us and what we work in every single day. Slow supply chains. And that's not just trucks. That's contracts. That's purchasing orders. That's how invoices are sent. That's how warehousing space is found. That's how picking and packing solutions are invested in. All of that goes into one place. And that's why I'm very excited today to bring on the CEO and founder of Logiwa, which is a e-commerce fulfillment technology, a cloud-based system that helps e-commerce merchants find the right solutions for them, grow and scale their businesses. With us today is Erhan Musaglu, who is the founder and CEO of Logiwa. Erhan, how are you doing today?
Great, I'm great actually. Nice weather here in Chicago, and we're just enjoying the summer in Chicago. Everything looks good so far.
A summer in Chicago, a summer on Lake Michigan is the best summer you could possibly have. So I'm glad that you're over here and enjoying it as well. And I'm really excited. You guys were able to just close on $16.4 million from a number of really great investors, including New Road Capital Partners, big friend and fan of Tracy over there, and excited to see that you've joined their team. Why did you start Logiwa? What was missing in today's e-commerce fulfillment software and technology that you thought, needs a little bit more attention to?
Thank you. First of all, let me start explaining what is Logiwa actually a little bit, and then we can dive into why we built Logiwa. So we are a high-volume fulfillment software. We are helping high-volume direct-to-consumer companies to fulfill their orders, such as logistic companies that are providing fulfillment services for brands and manufacturers, also online brands or manufacturers. Let's give an example. When a consumer submits an online order, there is a different story continues behind the scenes. Our software downloads all these orders from marketplaces and websites, and we find the best fulfillment center across the network to fulfill that order. We assign that order to the fulfillment center, and then within the fulfillment center, our software optimizes entire business flow for pickers and packers, so they can go and pick your products put them into boxes, print a shipping label, and then send the box or ship the box to your home. And at the end of the day, you get a nice box with your name on it. This is the fulfillment story, and we help our customers to fulfill the orders from their warehouses. So why we started with Logiwa? Actually, 10 years ago, we were implementing traditional WMS systems for B2B fulfillment companies, which they were shipping bulk shipments. But 10 years ago, we just realized e-commerce is growing and the business is changing as well. We started seeing high volume of small orders. And also, we started seeing that the business rules were changing very frequently. Almost every quarter, a new shipment method, a new bundle, a new business requirement were coming up. Also, the implementation, especially for these traditional WMS systems, were too long. It is still long, by the way. We are talking months of implementation time. So we just realized the new age fulfillment companies, especially online brands and all these high volume fulfillment companies, they need three key things in their business. One is ability to ship high volume of orders from their warehouses. Flexibility means that when the business changes, they expect their fulfillment software to adapt very quickly. And also fast time to value. They want their software up and running in 4 to 6 weeks. So that's why we built Logiwa, to provide these three key things to our customers.
No, I love that, and especially the integration aspect of things. We've had guests on the show before who have talked about, we have already a labor problem when it comes to warehousing and even capacity, right, for delivery. But there's even more of a labor issue when it comes to integration support. So the faster that your technology is able to integrate and get up and moving is going to make someone even more of a challenger in this space when it comes to providing that fulfillment capabilities. And I love the integration network that you have on. If anyone is interested, go to logiwa.com/integrations and you can see all of the different companies that you are a part of and partnered with. Why was it important for you to make sure that this network was as large as it was before taking off and introducing yourself to our industry?
Great question. As far as I remember, we have more than 200 integrations with different parties, such as marketplaces, shopping carts, shipping carriers, robotic systems, ERP systems, accounting systems. And the reason why we built all these integrations is we believe that we are in a connected world. And all these online brands, their storefront is their website or their shopping cart or their marketplaces. So these are sales channels for online players. And if any online player wants to grow, scale up their business, they need to open new sales channels. Such as when in the brick and mortar stores, you have to almost build a store, a brick and mortar store in each area to cover entire population. But in e-commerce, It's the other way. We just build marketplaces or websites. That's why it's very important for us to connect to all these channels, because if one of our customers wants to grow their business, we have to be ready for the growth. If they want to open a store in another sales channel, we're going to be ready for that. So that's why integrations are big on Logiwa, and we have more than 200 integrations. Addition to that, as you know, shipping is very important as well. We are all trying to build faster supply chain, and shipping carriers are one of the important, crucial part of that faster supply chain improvement. So we are also connected with shipping carriers so that for our customers and for your order, we can find the fastest and cheapest shipping rate, so they can ship faster. As far as I know, as of today, we cover almost 90% of North America, and we can ship same day or next day, as far as I know. I mean, when I say we, not of course Logiwa, but our customers. The other part of the integrations are robotic systems. Robotic systems are very important, especially to build faster supply chain, faster warehouses. That's why we are investing big in robotics integrations as well. Even we promised our prospects, if any of our customers wants to implement a robotic system, we'll do the integration free of charge for them.
Wow, that's awesome. I was going to say, yeah, you have even robotics integrations already set. Locus is actually one. I really love that team over there, and excited to see their growth in e-commerce as well. And yeah, you hit it on the dot. You have over 200, and if you go to the site, it's everything from the e-commerce to ERPs to EDIs and open APIs that are available to everyone. As technology becomes even more important, whether that's robotics or different types of fulfillment systems. What are you most excited to see technology wise become more a part of the everyday e-commerce fulfillment environment? And with that answer, what is Logiwa doing to make sure that technology is continued to be available to them? I mean, right there, the robotics to say, hey, we're going to do that for free. That's huge. Is there any other technologies that maybe specifically you're interested in partnering with as well?
Thank you for the question. We are good partners with Locus Robotics, and we already
Yes.
implemented a couple of warehouses with them. To be honest, the biggest technology is going to be the robotics technology that is applied to warehouses, because today warehouses or fulfillment centers are still the bottleneck in the fulfillment or supply chain. So we have to improve and we have to ship orders faster from the warehouses. Robotics is very important at that point, and they are doing a great job. Of course, there should be a lot of improvement in the robotics as well. We still don't see picker robots. I mean, we see, but they're not productive at the moment. But we see robots moving parts in the warehouse, helping pickers to pick orders, which is great. And that's what Locus is doing at the moment. Other than that, we do believe that AI and machine learning is going to be very important couple of years. And we are doing a lot of R&D development for machine learning and AI. We are going to bring machine learning and AI into the warehouses so we can ship orders, pick and ship orders faster for our customers. The other one is actually not for warehouses. Actually, we use drones in the warehouse for counting the warehouse and some other tasks. But I guess delivery drones are going to be very important in the near future, because again, in order to provide faster supply chain, you need to move goods faster to the consumer. So I guess delivery drones and automated vehicles are going to be very important. As Logiwa, we are doing a lot of investment in robotics. We are not developing robotic systems, but we are integrating with the robotic systems so that our customers can implement and select their own robotic system. Also, we are doing a lot of development for machine learning and artificial intelligence.
Love that. All across the board. And yeah, I think the delivery drones one is one I really wasn't thinking of, but that's a perfect example of, I think, improvement in the space. And I can't wait to see that tab on your site here soon to come. Another question I have, right, is that we have this $16.4 million now capital infused into the company. What should we expect and look forward to from Logiwa over the next 12 months or so as you start to deploy this? What areas are you looking to grow and expand the most?
First of all, yes, we raised a good amount of money, and we'll do a second raise very soon. First of all, we'll keep our culture. We have a great culture here, and this is very important for us. And I guess we're going to be doubling the company, like headcount, but we'll also try to keep our culture. This is very important. Other than that, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to do a lot of product improvements, especially robotics and machine learning and AI, to make warehouses even faster and to ship more from warehouses. Other than that, we are also working on a global expansion. We already expanded to Canada, and we have customers in Europe as well. But I guess we're going to be expanding to 3 continents very soon next year. So these are the plans with the Series B raise.
Well, congratulations, and I can't wait to cover all that as you continue to grow as well. And being a new guest on the show, I love to play a quick game with our guests to see exactly what the game show is called. What kind of consumer are you? And it really focuses on a lot of the different trends we've seen arise through the last couple of years. So, my first question to you, Eran, is: do you use an app to order and deliver your groceries, or are you still going to the good old store and picking them out yourself?
You're gonna be surprised, but I have a grocery store downstairs, so I never order online grocery. Honestly, I
Yeah.
just go downstairs and buy it. I'm still that traditional guy. I would like to see what I'm buying, right?
That's awesome. Well, that's perfect for you. That works great, doesn't it? And that's, it's funny. There's so many different grocery stores that are making sure that they have these like intercity markets available for that exact reason. I actually just moved from a downtown area that had the same thing. I had a store like right downstairs from me. So I didn't really order out because I could just walk a couple of flights and there we were. So that's a good answer, and excited to see that they've expanded that way. Here's one for you. Hopefully, if you have one of these downstairs too, don't ever move. This would be a perfect location to live. Do you still go to the movie theaters, or do you just watch everything through streaming services?
I mean, we rarely go to movie theaters. Last week, Saturday, we went an open air theater. Usually, we go open air after the COVID, not indoor. But we
Ah,
still go, but rarely. Maybe like twice a year, let's say.
yeah. Yeah, it's gotta be a good movie. At least the seats are comfortable these days. I will say that. And
Exactly.
here's another one, especially when you're talking about e-commerce and fulfillment. Have you ever ordered a subscription box or like a mystery box of some kind?
Not myself, but we have a 2 years old. So my wife orders like a lot of stuff, a subscription box for the boy, especially like toys and some maybe like some supplementary products. So yes, I guess as a family, yes, we do order subscription boxes, but not mystery, just subscription box. We know what is in. Right?
I love that. No, they're all a rise, and I'm sure it's an interesting point of even trying to fulfill those boxes, right? When you have all these different pieces
Yeah.
and it's mystery boxes, in fact, being able to consolidate all of that extra inventory and still sell it for a good value is always interesting to me. Well, thank you so
So
much,
Grace,
Irhan, for being.
Grace,
Yes.
sorry, what type of consumer I am now based on the game?
Yeah, you are a futuristic consumer for sure, and I'm excited that a futuristic consumer is on top of it when it comes to tomorrow's supply chain technology. So, congrats to you for sure, and
Thanks.
thank you, of course, and thank you so much for being on the show. We will talk to you soon, and keep in touch and let me know what the company is doing in the future.
Thanks, having us. Thank you.
Of course. And for all of our listeners out there, again, remember that you can listen to this as podcast versions as well through Apple and Spotify. And make sure that you're going to get our newsletters as well. You can subscribe to those. Just go to freightways.com, hit that newsletter button. And we actually make it really easy. You can just literally click one button and you can subscribe to every single newsletter that we have across different types of communities and niches, including trucking with loaded and rolling, 3PL work through Check Call, and so many different ones. With new one with Jack Dalio, the Drop Zone, where we can talk about those new drones that will be delivering to your front doorstep as well. So make sure that you go ahead and do that, and you get these bi-weekly newsletters as part of our community. And as always, I am busy, and every day, I am on the radio, Sirius XM channel 146, the Road Dog Trucking channel. Brings you Freightways Drive Time from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am talking to everyone from Erhan, who's actually on the show last week, to today we'll have Check Call on. Tomorrow we have Cloud Treks on. Those episodes are all on demand as well. So as long as you are a SiriusXM holder, you can either listen to those while you're driving, or you can catch them on demand later as well. And continue to have all of our community leaders on that show throughout the week. So if there's any time that you miss maybe an episode here, you can always listen to what they're up to on the radio show, or you can go to tv.freightwaves.com and get all of this amazing content all in one place. That's it for us today. I will see you all next week. Continue to shop because we need that in order to keep this show going. And thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you guys later.